City of London is in panic. The left is in panic. The Democrats are panicking. The commies are panicking because what Trump is pulling off is unlike anything they ever thought would happen to him. Well, Data Republican is more proof of this. Did this amazing breakdown right now of how important Hegseth is in making sure that the Trump administration gets to keep doing what they're doing, as she found like basically a coup targeting them that Hegseth standing between. Now listen to this. This is a very interesting thread here. She says the true reason Hegseth's being targeted is because he's standing between Trump and a coup. Hegseth named the institution, CFR Brookings General Class, in 37 seconds in a video by Liz Wheeler. Within 72 hours of his nomination, a Color Revolution planning document cited him as an insider threat. They didn't go after him because of drinking, didn't go after him because of women. They went after him because every Color Revolution manual ever written says the same thing. You cannot topple a government unless the security forces defect. That is soft power versus hard power. These organizations, the left, had all this soft power, which means head of institutions, head of entertainment, media, so on and so forth, but they didn't have a military. And so without the hard power, you can't win. And Trump, by the way, is using that hard power to prove that against City of London. That's why City of London ultimately can't beat us, because we have the hard power, the military. And he says a loyal Secretary of Defense is one person who makes sure they don't. Now listen, here's a quick clip she was talking about.
Trump threatened the international order, Council on Foreign Relations, Washington, D.C., Brookings Institute types. They were never told their wars were stupid or their generals were losers or that NATO didn't step up, that China would unleash a virus. So let's call it the China virus and hold them to account for it. All of those things were a calling out of an international order that was failing and is continuing to fail and now has a great advocate in the regime currently in the White House.
Okay, so listen to that. Council of Foreign Relations, Brookings Institute, all of them, they're all neocons, which means they're all City of London types. All of them. And they were using our war machine to keep the perpetual wars going, keep that money flowing. And Hegseth is who Trump appointed as Secretary of Defense. Hegseth knows this and is being very open about it, which is fascinating. But here's the receipts. Data Republican always has receipts, by the way. She is such a great follow. Says, this is not my theory, this is theirs. Erica Chenoweth, Maria Stephan, two most cited scholars in the Color Revolution field, studied 323 regime change campaigns. Their findings, security force defections make campaigns 46 times more likely to succeed. So what did co-author Maria Stephan do next? She became chief organizer of Horizons Project. On July 16, 2025, she trained New Kings participants on video. Security forces refused to obey orders to repress protesters. She's got this right here.
And momentum is key to success. The third attribute of successful campaigns, they feature defections and loyalty shifts.
The commie fist right here. 130,000 people told. When they crack and power within them shifts, the entire edifice can crumble. They equal security forces, our military. Stephan's teachings are now informing a mass American audience. It's how you bring down a government. The regime's pillars of support. Again, the teachings.
Really getting anything done.
She's got all the stuff. You can go listen to them another time. It'll take too long if I go through them all. It gets worse. Hardy Merriman, Gene Sharp's personal assistant, co-author of the Canvas Regime Change Field Manual used in 50 countries, wrote a domestic version. It says those who serve in government institutions swear an oath to uphold the Constitution. They don't swear allegiance to the president. Teaches them how to defect. Call in sick, work slowly, ignore orders, leak to media, publicly defy. Leak to media! Megyn Kelly's favorite thing right there, as far as Joe Kent is concerned. Work slowly, ignore orders. What's one of the big complaints about the Trump administration? Man, they're so slow to get stuff done. And then what's Brennan and Comey telling us? We have plants all over within the administration. Yeah, this is how they slow stuff down, guys. Then publicly defy. Look at what their own planning document says about Hegseth. The Democracy Playbook 2025, same document teaches dealing with security forces and Color Revolution case studies, cites this in footnote 49. Hegseth had been flagged by fellow service member as possible inside threat. 72 hours after nomination, regime change manual. This she's got right here. It's crazy stuff, guys. This is what they were trying to do. This is how they were trying to destroy us from within. They had everything in place, but this is the key for everybody, who wants to doom, who gets nervous when they see this stuff, who starts getting hopeless. The point is, he's there. The point is, we're winning. The point is, Trump has got full authority over the military now. We are winning. This is good stuff. The operation went live November 11th, 25. National Lawyers Guild Military Law Task Force publishes FAQ on refusing illegal orders. Same group publishes a statement calling U.S. Venezuela operations war crimes, declaring officers should refuse superior orders. That is seditious 6 time. She says, remember the date. 6 days later, 6 Democratic members of Congress, military veterans, release a video telling active duty troops you must refuse illegal orders. It's all coordinated, folks. It's all a show. It's all a show. And here's the deal. Trump and the administration know it. And that is the biggest white pill of all. They know it. They're ahead of it. And they keep beating them. This, when you see this should not black pill you. This should white pill you. Because the black pill would be, we never saw this. We don't know it's there. But they're losing. And it's all coming out. That's a white pill, folks. 5 of the 6 recruited for a single organization, New Politics Leadership Academy. 1 pipeline, 1 talent program, 5 of 6. Then Mark Kelly was the 6th. A lot of these had military and CIA ties, these 6 that came out. Remember Trump calling them out? Sedition? Yeah, he knew exactly what he was doing. Because Trump knew all this. He wasn't just calling it to their face for fun. He knew this. Says the administration took the bait. Trump called them traitors, threatened death. Hegseth opened Pentagon investigation. Grand jury convened. Sedition, it failed. See, they did get a grand jury to try to get the sedition out. Daniel Driscoll, Secretary of the Army, has been more disruptive than Hegseth. Canceled M10 Booker. Halted Humphrey production. His confirmation vote, 66-28 versus Hegseth's 51-50. 0 organized opposition for Driscoll. They're trying to subvert Hegseth. Driscoll, someone the system can work with. He's Yale Law with cross-partisan relationships. His wife donated over $6,000 to Maggie Goodlander, one of the 6 seditious 6. Color Revolution Playbook is one tool for security forces. Social pressure through professional networks to induce defection. Driscoll's embedded. He can be pulled away. Braver Angels tiled, and it just keeps going, guys. Conclusion. Let's go to the conclusion. Hegseth named the institution 37 seconds. Institutions responded with pre-positioned Oppo research in 72 hours, regime change planning document citing him by name, legal predicate for military disobedience published the same week as a seditious 6 video, pipeline produced a cohort, grand jury they couldn't win, replacement they can co-opt, Braver Angels and MWEG sitting at the same table as the Color Revolution coordinators, physical barricade at the building where the playbook was written. They're not trying to get rid of a bad Secretary of Defense. They're trying to remove the one obstacle that makes their entire methodology fail. This is why they hate these people so much. What have I told you guys over and over again? Look at who they attack the most. Hegseth, Kash Patel, Bondi at one point. Now it's going to be Blanche. Tulsi Gabbard, J.D. Vance. They attack the people who are the biggest threats to their future and to what they want to accomplish now. All of those people have either, like Vance, future president possibly, but all the other ones are dealing with the justice and the intelligence and the military. Those are the things holding them back more than anything else. That's breaking them down. That's forcing them to lose. That's why they attack them the most, guys. That's why we get nonstop. Kash Patel's getting fired. Tulsi Gabbard's being outed. That's why they always attack these people. Pam Bondi didn't do anything. Yeah, that's exactly why. You can choose to buy the psyops or not. But remember, these are the important people. And that's why they go after them. And Hegseth, they really try to get rid of. Now, this is how we're responding. Here's Secretary Bessent yesterday. This is the kind of thing that's going to destroy them forever. Listen to this.
Thank you. Reagan Reese with the Daily Caller. I want to ask you about Antifa. In October, the Treasury Department started working with the FBI to investigate who's funding Antifa. Can you give us an update on that investigation? How close are you guys to finding out who's funding Antifa?
It is ongoing. We made substantial progress, and I think in the weeks and months ahead, we're going to have a lot to report. One thing that did go the underreported that I would point out to all of you is the IRS is now giving guidance on the Form 990, which nonprofits they have to file. And we are going to encourage or demand that nonprofits know their grant recipients. So if a grant recipient is violent, if they are suppressing people's rights, then you are responsible for that. And I think that's a very good first step.
Did you hear what he just said? This is massive. Okay, so first of all, he says, we have all this stuff on Antifa that's going to be coming out. He's been cutting off their funding since last year. He announced it last summer. Antifa is one of their militant wings to perform a color revolution, and it is weaker than ever thanks to this man and thanks to Trump. But then what he just said is crazy. He said that the IRS is now offering guidance that if you're a nonprofit and they catch you funding somebody like Antifa, you're responsible. That is the key to destroying these NGOs and nonprofits. It will ruin them because that's how they funnel that money, folks. So this is massive. And again, all wars are financial wars ultimately. Scott Bessent, as Tom Luongo calls him, Big Gay Patton, he is a general in this war. And he understands, thanks to his time with Soros, he understands how to weaponize economics more than any other person, which makes him the perfect person to be in charge of the Treasury under the Trump administration trying to defeat the City of London and the left. Great stuff. Now, they are starting to ramp up for the summer coming into the midterms. We have Antifa, Cam Higby's following this, which, by the way, that means the FBI is following it too. Violence wages on New York, New Jersey. Antifa in Austin, Texas are planning an emergency protest at a holding facility. They're starting to try to ramp this stuff up again. We don't need to worry about it, okay? We pray, but trust, guys, the right people are in charge. They're not going to let this get out of control. If you guys think that the Trump administration has less power than they did in 2020 during the Summer of Love, the BLM riots, if you think Antifa and them have more power than they had then, you're crazy. This is 6 years later. They are extremely defunded. They have much of their funding cut off. We have a much more aggressive FBI and DOJ than we ever had before. And Trump has got full control of the military with Hegseth. I'm telling you, if you think they're going to somehow be able to do something bigger than they've pulled off in the past, I just don't see how it's possible, guys. It doesn't make sense. Why would they have waited? Why would they have allowed Trump to come back in 24 if they had all this power? It doesn't make sense. To me, when people say like they're about to unleash the left, watch out. This is the big one. To me, that's the same as Iran has super duper secret hypersonic missiles that will destroy us all. They're just waiting. That doesn't make sense. They lost. 2024 election was the Battle of Gettysburg. Once it was won, it was over, and all we got to do now is finish the job. That's where we're at. The Trump administration has the power. They are in big trouble now, but they're going to try. Don't get me wrong. They're going to do stuff. But if you think it's going to be this massive, crazy escalation that we just can't control, no, I'm sorry. I just don't see that happening. And if I'm wrong, I'll admit it. But I don't see that happening. And this is one of the reasons why. Look at Todd Blanche. We have people now, guys, willing to do what needs to be done.
Okay, let's talk about what you can and cannot tolerate. This is video from last night. This is one of those rioters and him shouting death threats at ICE officers. Watch.
Your whole family! Your whole family's dead! Come on! Children, your wife, all dead! Put it, my boy, I have your
What lovely
face,
people.
just
Lovely people on the left.
dead!
You're dead, your children, your wife, your whole family. I'll kill them all. and then ironically says, I have your face. We all have his face.
Yeah, so do we. And look, that's a federal crime. And not only threatening the ICE officer, but think about how disgusting this individual is, threatening his family and his children with death. What is this man doing? He's just doing his job standing there. And so that is disgusting, that what you just showed, and we see his face. And I promise you, we will find him. And when we find him, we will arrest him, because it is a crime not only to threaten law enforcement, but not surprisingly to threaten their family as well.
Update is that they've so far arrested 9 out of this riot. I don't know if they got that guy yet, but they've already made arrests. So it's happening, guys, and it's going to keep happening. They're going to allow protests. It's First Amendment right. They're going to, but they're watching carefully, and it's just not going to be able to blow up the way the left wants it to. The coup was stopped, and now it's cleanup time. And I think more and more, especially in the next few months, this is only going to ramp up heading into the midterms. We're going to get a lot more action in a good way. And so I think Blanche is the guy to do it. He's the bulldog running this show. And I'm excited to see how it plays out.